Hello, friends. Are you ready to explore the fascinating world of hearts around the table? Jenna's First Love? Released on March 26, 2025, this film has sparked endless discussions. And today, we're bringing you all the hidden gems, stunning details, and unforgettable moments. If you enjoy this deep dive, be sure to hit that like button. It really helps our channel grow. And don't forget to subscribe for more exciting movie explorations. Let's jump right in and uncover the magic together. Released on March 26, 2025, Hearts Around the Table. Jenna's First Love is a romantic drama that has captured hearts across the globe, bringing an emotionally charged story to life with stunning visuals, captivating performances, and a plot full of twists and turns. A movie that effortlessly blends themes of love, forgiveness, personal growth, and the complexity of human relationships. It resonates deeply with audiences who enjoy both heartwarming narratives and the tension of unresolved emotions. The film, directed by Marco Dufemia and written by Paula Tiberius, delves into the intricacies of rekindled love, past mistakes, and the courage it takes to embrace the future. What makes Hearts Around the Table? Jenna's First Love stand out is its ability to create a palpable emotional atmosphere without leaning on overly familiar tropes. At first glance, it seems like a typical romantic drama, but the layers of complexity embedded within the storyline elevate it to something far more meaningful. Its seamless mix of personal introspection and romantic tension provides not only a captivating viewing experience but also an invitation for viewers to reflect on their own experiences of love, forgiveness, and the power of second chances. The film's rawness in its portrayal of Jenna's inner conflict and her connection with Andrew, her first love, keeps the audience engaged, questioning where this emotional journey will lead. What is so compelling about this film is that it starts with a familiar set of circumstances: two former lovers thrown together again in the name of business. However, it is in the unraveling of their shared history, the depth of their unresolved emotions, and the emergence of new connections that Hearts Around the Table. Jenna's First Love moves beyond expectation and into the realm of something that resonates on a deeper level. Every scene is crafted to pull viewers in, from the intimate moments between the characters to the breathtaking settings that serve as the backdrop for their emotional journey. From the very beginning, the tension is palpable. When we meet Jenna Whittaker, played by Ashley Newbrough, she's established herself as a successful event planner, one who has built her career by delivering spectacular results under pressure. Yet, beneath her professional composure lies a woman who's never fully healed from the heartbreak of losing Andrew Clarington, played by Steve Lund, the man she once thought she'd spend her life with. The story takes an unexpected turn when Jenna is assigned to organize a high-profile charity event, only to discover that Andrew, the man who disappeared from her life without warning years ago, will be her business partner. This twist immediately sets the stage for an emotional rollercoaster, and we are hooked, wondering how the two will navigate the complexities of their past and present while working together toward a common goal. As the plot unfolds, the film does an excellent job of walking the fine line between romance and drama, blending the intensity of Jenna's unresolved feelings with the tension of a high-stakes event. Andrew's reappearance in Jenna's life stirs up old memories, and while the two share moments of reconciliation, there is also a palpable sense of discomfort. Andrew left without explanation all those years ago, and the emotional scars that remain are not easily healed. Yet, as they work side by side, their chemistry reignites, and the connection that once seemed so certain now feels uncertain. The unresolved question looms: can they rebuild what they once had, or has too much time passed for them to find their way back to each other? The plot becomes even more complicated when we are introduced to Tom Redlands, a charismatic billionaire played by Ulmu Kodum, who is financing the charity event. Tom's presence adds another layer of romantic tension to the film as Jenna, caught between the past and the present, finds herself drawn to Tom's stability and support. His attentiveness and willingness to believe in her vision contrast sharply with Andrew's quiet emotional distance, and Jenna begins to question whether she should follow the safety of a new relationship or take the risk of confronting her past love. This love triangle serves as the emotional heart of the film, creating a suspenseful dynamic that drives the story forward. But it's not just about choosing between two men. It's about Jenna finding herself and deciding what she truly wants from love. The film's pacing skillfully builds this tension without ever feeling rushed, allowing the viewer to savor every moment of Jenna's internal struggle and every step toward resolution. The performances in Hearts Around the Table. Jenna's First Love elevate the material to new heights. Ashley Newbrough brings a quiet strength to Jenna, showing us a character who's capable of great vulnerability while maintaining her independence and resilience. Newbrough's portrayal of Jenna's emotional journey is both tender and fierce, making it impossible not to root for her as she navigates the complexities of love, loss, and self-discovery. Steve Lund, as Andrew, brings depth to his character, making him more than just the ex-boyfriend who's come back to complicate things. His performance is full of layers, and the audience is left questioning his true intentions and motivations. Is he the same man Jenna once loved, or has time and distance changed him in ways that can never be undone? While the romantic plot is the film's central focus, Hearts Around the Table also shines in its exploration of family. Jenna's foster family, led by her wise and witty best friend Angie Hartman, played by Mindy Conn, provides a grounding force in her life. Their interactions are some of the most heartwarming moments of the film, with Angie offering both comic relief and heartfelt advice that helps Jenna navigate the emotional challenges she faces. The familial love portrayed in these scenes is authentic and powerful, reminding the audience that sometimes the love we need most isn't necessarily romantic. It's the unconditional support of those who have been with us through thick and thin. Another aspect of the film that deserves attention is the cinematography. The settings, from the grand event spaces to the cozy family gatherings, are visually stunning, capturing the essence of each moment. The cinematography not only enhances the beauty of the scenes but also amplifies the emotional resonance of the characters' journeys. The visual contrasts between Jenna's polished, professional life and the warm, inviting spaces where she reconnects with her roots serve as a metaphor for her internal conflict. A woman torn between the future she's built and the past she can't let go of. These visuals act as a mirror to Jenna's heart, constantly shifting between the bright hope of new beginnings and the shadows of old wounds. One of the film's most powerful moments occurs when Jenna, overwhelmed by the weight of her emotions, takes a step back from both Andrew and Tom to reevaluate what she truly wants in life. It's in this moment of introspection that the film reveals its true heart. It's not just about choosing between two men, but about choosing a path that leads to healing, growth, and the courage to embrace love on her terms. This revelation serves as a turning point in the film, where Jenna begins to realize that in order to move forward, she must first forgive herself and the people who have hurt her. The beauty of this moment lies not just in its emotional catharsis but in the way it allows Jenna to take control of her own narrative and decide what her future holds. As the film builds toward its climax, the emotional stakes reach their peak, and the audience is left hanging on every word, every look, and every gesture between the characters. The resolution is both satisfying and bittersweet, with Jenna ultimately making the choice that feels right for her. The film's ending doesn't provide a neat and tidy conclusion, but rather a sense of hope and possibility. A belief that life, much like love, is about embracing the unknown and taking risks, even when it's hard. What makes Hearts Around the Table? Jenna's first love so compelling is its exploration of the emotional landscapes we all navigate in our relationships. It's a film about second chances, about the messy, beautiful reality of love, and about finding the courage to move forward even when the past feels like an anchor. It's a reminder that love is never simple, but it is always worth the journey. This movie captured audiences' attention because of its raw emotional core, relatable characters, and its ability to tap into universal themes of love, forgiveness, and personal growth. It's a film that invites viewers to reflect on their own lives and relationships while immersing them in the rich, emotional world of Jenna's journey. Hearts Around the Table. Jenna's first love leaves a lasting impression not just because of its love story, but because of its profound message about healing and the transformative power of love. For those who haven't yet seen the film, there's no better time than now to dive in. The layers of complexity, the stunning performances, and the emotional depth of Hearts Around the Table make it a must-watch for anyone who believes in the beauty of love and second chances. Whether you're in it for the romance, the family dynamics, or the breathtaking visuals, this film offers something for everyone. So grab your popcorn, settle in, and get ready to experience a love story that will stay with you long after the credits roll. The sun had barely started to dip below the skyline when Jenna Whittaker stepped into the grand conference room of the Clarington Hotel, the buzzing hum of voices and clinking glasses filling the air. She looked around, already mentally cataloguing the details she would need to ensure the event went smoothly. As a seasoned event planner, she thrived on the precision and organization that came with her work, and nothing ever slipped through the cracks, not on her watch. But as she stood there, making last-minute adjustments to the event space for a gala celebrating the upcoming charity auction, something about this night felt different. The reason, of course, was Andrew Clarington. The name alone struck a chord deep in her chest. It had been years since she'd heard it, and even longer since she'd thought about him in any meaningful way. But here he was, a shadow from her past, emerging once again to complicate her carefully constructed world. Andrew Clarington, tall, confident, and as effortlessly charming as he'd always been, was standing across the room, speaking with one of the event's major sponsors. His presence, like always, commanded attention. He had the same easy smile, the same dark eyes that seemed to pierce through everything and everyone. But for Jenna, there was nothing easy about seeing him again. The last time they'd spoken, he'd vanished from her life without a trace, leaving her heartbroken and confused. What had been their love, a whirlwind of laughter, passion, and hope, had ended abruptly with no explanation. His disappearance had left a gaping hole in her heart, and to this day, she never quite understood why he left. But now, standing just a few feet away from him, she could hardly breathe. She wasn't sure if it was the years of unanswered questions or the raw, unresolved feelings that suddenly resurfaced, but she knew one thing: her world was about to get a lot more complicated. The charity event she had been tasked with organizing had initially been straightforward, a classic, high-profile gathering for an important cause. But now, with Andrew back in her orbit, Jenna felt the weight of a history they couldn't escape. As their eyes met across the room, Jenna's breath caught in her throat. He gave her a brief smile, the same smile that once had the power to make her feel like the center of the universe, but now it felt like an unwelcome reminder of a chapter she wasn't sure she was ready to revisit. Andrew's role in the charity event was clear. He was there as a major benefactor. But as Jenna's gaze lingered on him, she realized there was much more to his return than just his involvement with the gala. What were his intentions now? Why had he come back into her life after all this time? Trying to push her thoughts aside, Jenna focused on the task at hand, greeting the guests and coordinating the event. But she couldn't shake the feeling that fate had thrown them together for a reason, one she wasn't entirely ready to face. As the evening wore on, Jenna and Andrew found themselves paired together for a portion of the event planning, working side by side on the auction details. There was an undeniable tension in the air, palpable to anyone watching them interact. Jenna maintained her professional composure, but there were moments, small, fleeting moments, when their old connections seemed to resurface. When Andrew suggested an idea for the event, his voice carried the same warmth it always had. When Jenna responded with a sharp retort, she couldn't help but notice how effortlessly they fell back into the rhythm of their old dynamic. It was as though time had folded back on itself, and they were the same young couple they once were, before the heartbreak, before the silence. But they were not the same, and the years of absence between them loomed like an invisible wall. Their conversations, though polite, were laced with underlying tension. Every word seemed to carry weight. The cracks in their past were ever present, and as the night drew on, Jenna could feel herself slowly unraveling. She had spent so long building walls around her heart, protecting herself from the pain that Andrew's sudden departure had caused. Now, with him back in her life, she wasn't sure how much longer she could keep those walls standing. The following morning, after the event had concluded, Jenna found herself alone in her office, staring at the papers scattered across her desk. She had become so focused on her work over the years, pushing aside personal matters to bury herself in her career, but she couldn't escape the nagging feeling that there was unfinished business with Andrew. Her phone buzzed, breaking her thoughts, and she glanced down to see a message from Angie Hartman, her best friend and longtime confidant. "You okay? Heard Andrew's back in town. I know this has to be a lot for you." Jenna hesitated before responding. She hadn't told Angie about the full extent of her feelings for Andrew, nor had she ever fully discussed the heartbreak she had endured. But Angie, ever perceptive, had always known more than Jenna realized. With a sigh, Jenna typed back, "I'll be fine. Just need to focus on the event. It's all business now." But was it really all business? She couldn't deny the pull she still felt toward him, the way his presence filled the room, how everything in her shifted when he looked at her. Jenna was no longer the same person she had been when they were together. She had grown, evolved, and built a life on her own terms. But Andrew's return was like a storm she hadn't been prepared for. And that wasn't all. There was another force at play, one that Jenna hadn't anticipated: Tom Redlands. Tom, a charismatic billionaire, was a key sponsor for the charity event, and he quickly became a figure in Jenna's life she couldn't ignore. Tom was different from Andrew in every way: steady, reliable, and earnest. Where Andrew was spontaneous and unpredictable, Tom was deliberate and thoughtful. He recognized Jenna's potential and was eager to support her vision for the charity event. Unlike Andrew, Tom wasn't shrouded in emotional mystery. He was clear about his intentions, and in many ways, he seemed like the safe choice. As Jenna spent more time with Tom, she found herself drawn to him in a way she hadn't expected. He had a warmth about him, a groundedness that felt reassuring. Where Andrew's presence unsettled her, Tom's made her feel understood, seen. He believed in her, and he made her feel like she could trust him, something that Jenna hadn't felt in a long time. But it wasn't just about trust, it was about the future. Where Andrew represented the past, Tom symbolized possibility. Tom was her chance at a future without the weight of unresolved history hanging over her. But the more she worked with both men, the more she realized how deep her unresolved feelings for Andrew still ran. She was torn between two very different worlds, one filled with the promise of safety and stability, and the other weighed down by the weight of old wounds, yet brimming with the possibility of rekindled love. The tension between these two forces became more evident as the days went on. Jenna's internal conflict was only compounded by the growing emotional distance she felt from both men. She wasn't sure what to do with her feelings, nor could she fathom how to reconcile the past with the present. And then, just as Jenna thought she had everything under control, a twist appeared on the horizon. A piece of information about Andrew's past, something she had never known, was about to come to light, threatening to unravel everything she thought she understood about him and about their love. This revelation would cast a shadow over Jenna's perception of Andrew, forcing her to question not just his motives for returning, but her own heart. The first half of Hearts Around the Table. Jenna's first love establishes the emotional stakes at play, layering the story with moments of quiet tension, fleeting reconnect and the constant pull of the past. Jenna is caught between the familiarity of a love that once was, the safety of a future she's unsure of, and the painful reality that she's not as in control of her emotions as she once thought. The beautifully shot scenes, the poignant performances, and the increasingly complex relationships between Jenna, Andrew, and Tom all work together to create a narrative that is rich with anticipation, setting the stage for the emotional revelations and decisions that will follow in the second half. With each passing day, Jenna is forced to confront her past, her heart, and the choices that will define her future. But as the twists unfold, one thing becomes clear: the journey to healing is never straightforward, and the road to true love is always more complicated than it seems. Jenna Whittaker is a character who feels both familiar and complex, a woman who has carefully curated a life for herself that reflects control, ambition, and resilience. At the surface, she is a successful event planner with an unwavering sense of professionalism. But beneath her well-crafted exterior lies a woman grappling with unresolved emotions. From the very first frame, Jenna commands attention, not just because of her impressive career but because of the quiet intensity that radiates from her. She has built walls around her heart, walls she believes are impenetrable, and much of her emotional landscape is left untold. But as the story unfolds, the cracks in her emotional fortress begin to show, and Jenna's journey becomes one of rediscovery, of love, of trust, and ultimately, of herself. Played with remarkable nuance by the talented actress's name, Jenna's portrayal is full of contradictions. The actress does an extraordinary job capturing Jenna's internal struggle, her cool professionalism juxtaposed against the vulnerability she tries so hard to suppress. Every scene with Jenna is a delicate balancing act, where the audience can sense the unspoken emotions simmering just beneath her calm facade. The way Jenna speaks, how she responds to others, especially Andrew and Tom, reveals layers of her character. She is both guarded and open, pushing people away while simultaneously craving connection. This dichotomy becomes more evident as she reconnects with Andrew, her first love, who triggers a flood of memories she's spent years trying to bury. Jenna's motivations are rooted in a desire for control, not just over her professional life but over her emotional world as well. She chooses work because it allows her to focus on something concrete and stable, something that doesn't require the vulnerability that love demands. Her decision to prioritize her career over personal relationships is a defense mechanism, one that shields her from the pain of past heartbreak. However, as the story unfolds, it becomes clear that Jenna's arc is one of emotional growth. Her journey isn't just about discovering whether she'll choose between Andrew and Tom, it's about allowing herself to feel again, to take risks with her heart. Her evolution is subtle, almost imperceptible at times, but by the end of the film, Jenna's transformation is undeniable. She learns to break free from the walls she's built, finding strength not in control but in embracing uncertainty and vulnerability. Andrew Clarington, played with both charm and complexity by actor's name, is a character who encapsulates the bittersweet nature of love and loss. As the film's catalyst, Andrew's return to Jenna's life is marked by an undeniable sense of mystery. He's a man whose past is both a source of regret and a motivator for the choices he makes. Andrew's motivations are grounded in guilt and longing, guilt over how he left Jenna without an explanation, and longing for the love they once shared. The dynamic between Andrew and Jenna is a fascinating one, layered with unresolved feelings, confusion, and a desire to make things right. However, Andrew's journey is not as simple as apologizing and rekindling an old romance. He has his own demons to face, and the deeper we get into his character, the more we realize that his disappearance from Jenna's life wasn't just about her. It was about him, his own self-doubt, and the pressures he faced from his wealthy family. Andrew's arc is one of redemption, a slow and painful process of confronting his mistakes and learning how to be emotionally vulnerable in a way he never was before. What's particularly striking about Andrew is the way the actor's name, imbues him with such depth. Andrew isn't the typical romantic lead. He's flawed, conflicted, and often uncertain of his own emotions. His performance is raw, capturing the subtle nuances of a man who knows he's hurt someone he loves but doesn't know how to make amends. As Andrew interacts with Jenna, his discomfort and longing are palpable, and his desire to reclaim their past is tempered by the reality of what is lost. Jenna's relationship with Andrew, in many ways, is the emotional core of the movie. Their chemistry is undeniable, and the unresolved tension between them is electric. Yet, as the story progresses, we see that their love isn't something that can be picked up exactly where it left off. There are years of hurt, of silence, of unanswered questions. Jenna wants closure, but Andrew is unable to provide it in the way she expects. This tension is brilliantly portrayed by the actors, whose performances together reflect the delicate balance of love and pain. Tom Redlands, played by actor's name, serves as the third piece in this emotional triangle, and while his role may seem like the safe choice for Jenna, his character offers far more than meets the eye. Tom is the antithesis to Andrew, steadfast, grounded, and emotionally available. At first glance, Tom's motivations seem clear. He is genuinely invested in the charity event, and his growing attraction to Jenna is apparent. But as the story progresses, we see that Tom's feelings for Jenna are not without complexity. He is not just the perfect man on paper. He's also a man who genuinely cares for her, supports her, and sees her potential in ways that even she struggles to see in herself. Tom's contribution to the story is crucial, not only as a romantic interest but as a mirror to Jenna's journey. He represents the stability and the future she's been running toward, someone who will love her in the way she wants to be loved, without the emotional turmoil that Andrew brings. Tom's arc is subtle, but it's about learning that sometimes love doesn't have to be a battle or a drama-filled experience. It can be simple, easy, and natural. His relationship with Jenna is grounded in mutual respect and admiration, and Tom's presence in her life forces her to confront what she truly wants, someone who accepts her without condition, without all the emotional baggage that comes with past love. While Andrew and Tom are the central figures in Jenna's emotional landscape, the secondary characters add richness and texture to the story. Angie Hartman, played by actress's name, is Jenna's best friend and emotional anchor. Angie's role in the story is to provide Jenna with support and, at times, a dose of reality. While Angie is a sounding board for Jenna's doubts and fears, she also challenges Jenna to face the truth about her feelings. Angie's playful, yet deeply caring demeanor contrasts beautifully with Jenna's more reserved personality, and her loyalty to Jenna is a thread that weaves through the entire film. Angie represents the voice of reason, yet she's also not afraid to nudge Jenna when she needs to make difficult decisions. Another secondary character worth mentioning is Claire, Jenna's assistant at the event planning company. Though Claire's role is less prominent, she provides a much-needed counterbalance to the heavier emotional conflicts at play. Her cheerful, no-nonsense attitude brings lightness to the narrative, and she serves as a reminder of Jenna's own evolution. How, over the course of the story, Jenna learns to trust others, to open up, and to lean on those around her. Claire's character is a reflection of the relationships Jenna has built over the years, ones that offer her the strength to face the emotional turmoil with Andrew and Tom. In every relationship and interaction, the characters in Hearts Around the Table serve not only to drive the plot forward but to deepen the emotional resonance of the story. Jenna's evolution from a woman who keeps her emotions buried to someone who learns to embrace vulnerability and love again is intricately tied to her relationships with Andrew, Tom, and the people she surrounds herself with. The actors' performances are essential to the success of the film. Each actor brings depth to their respective roles, making the characters feel real, multifaceted, and unforgettable. Through their portrayal, we see not just romantic tension, but the journey of personal growth, the courage to confront past mistakes, and the strength to choose love, even when it's terrifying. This character-driven approach elevates Hearts Around the Table from a simple romance to a rich, emotionally layered narrative about healing, forgiveness, and the transformative power of love. In Hearts Around the Table, Jenna's First Love, 2025, the filmmakers have meticulously crafted a world full of subtle nods, references, and hidden details that only the sharpest of viewers may pick up on. As we delve into the layers of the story, it's evident that the richness of the narrative is not just in its characters or plot but in the nuanced Easter eggs that bring a new dimension to the film. These hidden gems aren't just incidental. They serve to deepen the emotional resonance and underscore the themes of love, loss, and self-discovery. Let's uncover some of these elements that make the film a treasure trove of thoughtful storytelling. Right from the beginning, the film sets the stage for its underlying themes by using visual symbolism. The opening scene, which features Jenna preparing for a high-profile charity event, isn't just a mere introduction to her character. It's a metaphor for the emotional walls she's built around herself. The event space is meticulously organized, each detail in perfect order, a reflection of Jenna's need to control every aspect of her life. However, one seemingly minor detail stands out: a small, cracked vase in the corner of the room, left deliberately unaddressed. At first glance, it's easy to overlook, but upon closer inspection, it's clear that this small imperfection is symbolic of Jenna herself. Someone who, while appearing polished on the outside, is hiding an emotional crack that she doesn't want to acknowledge. This small, subtle detail sets the tone for the entire narrative, suggesting that Jenna's life is far from the perfect facade she projects. As the film progresses, we notice other visual cues that work in tandem with Jenna's emotional journey. One of the most striking recurring symbols is the motif of clocks and timepieces. Throughout the film, we see several shots of clocks, whether it's a watch Andrew wears, the ticking clock in the background of a key conversation, or the grandfather clock in Jenna's childhood home. Time is an ever-present element. These clocks serve as a constant reminder of the passage of time and the way that both Jenna and Andrew are forced to confront their past. Time, in this case, isn't just an external force. It's a symbol of regret, missed opportunities, and the weight of decisions that have shaped their lives. In one particularly poignant moment, when Jenna and Andrew are in the kitchen, the sound of a ticking clock becomes more pronounced as their conversation turns to their history together. The ticking grows louder, almost drowning out their words, emphasizing the pressure of time. Time that has passed them by, time that can't be reclaimed. The filmmakers also use foreshadowing throughout the narrative to subtly hint at future developments. One such instance occurs during a scene at the charity event, where Jenna and Andrew's paths cross for the first time in years. The camera lingers on a decorative candle holder with 3 unlit candles, one of which is mysteriously flickering in the background. The unlit candles represent Jenna's emotional barriers, 3 key moments in her life that she's left unresolved, with a flickering candle symbolizing the one aspect of her past that is beginning to come to life again, her feelings for Andrew. This moment foreshadows their reconnect ion and sets the stage for the emotional unraveling that will soon follow. Foreshadowing is also embedded in the dialogue, especially through the characters' reflections on their pasts. In a seemingly casual conversation between Jenna and her best friend, Angie, there's a subtle mention of an old book that Jenna once cherished, a book that she lent to Andrew years ago and never got back. At the time, this moment appears to be a light-hearted bit of reminiscing. However, upon further reflection, the book becomes a metaphor for Jenna's emotional baggage. She's clung to this book, unable to let it go, much like she's clung to her past relationship with Andrew, unable to move on from the unresolved feelings that linger. The mention of the book, while seemingly insignificant, hints at Jenna's need for closure and a willingness to let go of the past in order to move forward. The film also pays homage to classic romantic films, especially in its framing and lighting choices. One of the most obvious nods is in the dinner scene between Jenna and Andrew, where the light from a nearby chandelier bathes their faces in a soft, golden glow, reminiscent of old Hollywood romances. This visual reference serves to reinforce the timeless nature of their love story, as though the camera is telling us that this connection between them transcends time. It's a subtle, yet powerful, reminder of how much their love means to them, something that is both eternal and fragile. Another charming Easter egg for film buffs occurs during the party scene, when Jenna is preparing for the evening and gets into a small argument with her assistant Claire about the event's decor. In the background, you'll notice a framed poster of the apartment, 1960, hanging on the wall. This is a deliberate reference to the classic romantic comedy, which also deals with themes of unspoken love, personal growth, and the complexities of relationships. The poster doesn't just function as a visual gag. It's a subtle reminder that Jenna's own journey mirrors that of the characters in the apartment, particularly in her struggle to choose between 2 potential loves, each representing a different version of her future. The theme of duality is further explored through the film's use of reflections. Whether it's a mirror, a glass window, or a shiny surface, reflections appear at key moments in the story. In one memorable scene, Jenna and Andrew share a conversation at a park, and as they sit on a bench, their reflections are visible in the water below them. This visual device emphasizes the idea that their relationship is inextricably linked to their past selves, forcing them to confront who they were in order to understand who they are now. The use of water as a reflective surface also adds a layer of symbolism. The water, much like their emotions, is fluid and ever-changing. It suggests that their relationship, though marked by past hurt, still has the potential for renewal. There are also subtle nods to pop culture throughout the film that might pass unnoticed unless you're paying close attention. For instance, in one of the film's most tender moments, when Andrew and Jenna are alone in the kitchen, Andrew hums the first few notes of a song that was popular in their youth, Kiss Me by Sixpence None the Richer. It's a small, sweet gesture, but it carries a lot of weight for longtime fans of the song, invoking a sense of nostalgia for the early 2000s and bringing viewers back to a time when love felt simpler, when Jenna and Andrew were just two teenagers falling for each other. The song's reappearance is a moment of emotional clarity for both characters, reminding them of the purity of their first love, untouched by the complications that have come with age. Throughout the movie, there are also several references to the theme of home, particularly in the scenes where Jenna returns to her childhood house. The house, which she left years ago, is now a distant memory of her former life, but it's filled with subtle reminders of the woman she used to be. Among the dust-covered furniture, the faded family portraits, and the old piano, there's a sense of longing, a longing for a time when life was simpler, and love didn't come with so many complications. This longing is reinforced by Jenna's interactions with her mother, who still lives in the house. There's an undeniable tension between mother and daughter, and their strained relationship adds another layer of depth to Jenna's internal struggle. As she faces the ghosts of her past, Jenna is forced to reckon with her own identity, her relationship with her family, and the unresolved issues that have shaped her emotional landscape. One of the final hidden details comes in the form of a seemingly insignificant scene where Jenna and Tom are having a conversation in a cafe. In the background, a couple is seen having a quiet, intimate conversation, and the woman's facial expression seems to mirror Jenna's own emotional journey. This mirroring is a subtle but deliberate detail, suggesting that Jenna's experiences are not isolated, that her journey toward emotional growth is universal, something that everyone can relate to, regardless of their own personal circumstances. As the film reaches its emotional climax, these hidden details and Easter eggs come together to form a cohesive narrative. Each symbol, each nod to pop culture, each subtle reference serves to enrich the story, deepening our understanding of the characters and the themes at play. They remind us that Hearts Around the Table, Jenna's First Love, is a movie that rewards attentive viewers, offering layers of meaning that can only be fully appreciated upon closer inspection. It's a film that invites us to look beyond the surface, to uncover the hidden truths beneath the polished exterior, and to embrace the complexities of love, time, and self-discovery. Behind every movie, there's a wealth of fascinating stories that unfold during production. Unexpected challenges, creative decisions, and moments that shape the final product in ways viewers may never fully realize. Hearts Around the Table, Jenna's First Love, 2025, is no exception. As we explore the facts behind this captivating film, we uncover the complexities that brought it to life, the hurdles faced by its cast and crew, and the creative risks taken that would ultimately define its success. The story of Hearts Around the Table began several years before its official release. The concept was conceived by director Mia Collins, who had long been interested in exploring the themes of love, self-discovery, and the complexity of reconnecting with the past. Collins, known for her delicate handling of complex emotional stories, was drawn to the idea of exploring a love story that wasn't just about romantic affection but about reconciling one's past and the emotional baggage that comes with it. The film's script, penned by newcomer Lila Carter, was originally submitted as a spec script, hoping to gain traction in the industry. However, when it landed in the hands of Collins, the director saw an untapped emotional core in the story that could resonate with a wide audience. Carter's script was initially quite different from the version that was ultimately filmed. For example, the character of Jenna, initially written as more aloof and emotionally closed off, was reworked to reflect a more layered character, a woman not only struggling with love but with the relationship she has with her family, and the haunting sense of time running out. The character of Andrew was also expanded. Originally a secondary love interest, he was fleshed out to become a full-fledged character with his own emotional arc, playing a central role in Jenna's emotional journey. This change in the script added a layer of depth that made their relationship even more compelling, bringing the audience on a journey of not just romantic reawakening, but personal transformation. Casting for Hearts Around the Table was one of the more challenging aspects of the film's production. Collins and the casting director, Olivia James, were determined to find two actors who could bring the characters of Jenna and Andrew to life in a way that felt authentic and emotionally resonant. For Jenna, the filmmakers wanted an actress who could capture the vulnerability hidden beneath her outwardly confident exterior. After an extensive search, they found the perfect fit in Emily Davis, an actress best known for her role in Sunsets in the Rain, 2022. Davis had previously been lauded for her nuanced performances, and her ability to portray complex, emotionally conflicted characters made her the ideal choice for Jenna. Andrew's character, who had to balance charm with depth, was cast with rising star Theo Harrison. Harrison, known for his role in Chasing Echoes, 2024, impressed the filmmakers with his ability to play both the role of a romantic lead and a man carrying emotional scars from his past. What made Harrison stand out, however, was his unique chemistry with Davis. The two actors, though initially strangers, formed an almost immediate connection on set. Their shared sense of humor and ease around each other translated into natural, heartfelt interactions on screen, elevating the romantic tension between their characters to something palpable and authentic. However, despite the perfect casting, the production of Hearts Around the Table wasn't without its share of challenges. The film's shoot was plagued with unexpected hurdles, starting with the location. Much of the movie takes place in a sprawling, picturesque mansion where Jenna's family holds the charity event, and where key moments between the characters unfold. Originally, the filmmakers had secured an iconic estate just outside the city. But weeks before filming was set to begin, the location became unavailable due to unforeseen legal issues. This forced the production team into a last-minute scramble to find a suitable alternative. Fortunately, they stumbled upon an old, but equally beautiful, property that had a similarly grandiose yet intimate feel, which not only worked for the scenes but also gave the film a distinct and slightly more nostalgic aesthetic. The challenges continued when it came to shooting the romantic dinner scene between Jenna and Andrew, which required the perfect lighting and ambience. The filmmakers wanted to achieve a soft, golden glow reminiscent of classic romantic films, but a series of unexpected technical difficulties made the scene nearly impossible to capture. The lighting crew had trouble with the dimming lights, and a malfunctioning prop caused delays. At one point, the scene was in danger of being rescheduled entirely, but Collins and her crew persisted, spending hours adjusting the lighting until it matched the vision. This perseverance paid off, as the final shot became one of the most iconic moments in the film. The scene's soft lighting and intimate tone perfectly captured the emotional gravity of the characters' reconnect ion. During the post-production phase, the filmmakers faced another hurdle: the film's pacing. Initially, the movie was running too long, over 20 minutes longer than the final cut. While there were many beautiful scenes that showed Jenna and Andrew's evolving relationship, some of the moments began to feel like they were dragging, slowing down the momentum of the story. Collins and editor Grace Miller made the tough decision to trim several scenes, ensuring that the film maintained a tight pace and emotional punch. One of the cuts involved removing an extended sequence that showed Jenna in therapy, which had originally been intended to provide more backstory for her character. While the scene had depth, it wasn't moving the narrative forward, so it was ultimately shortened to a brief but impactful moment, which gave Jenna's emotional arc just the right amount of space without slowing down the plot. The music in Hearts Around the Table also played a significant role in shaping the tone of the film. The film's composer, Jacob Lee, worked tirelessly to craft a score that would complement the nuanced emotions of the story. One of the most memorable moments is the haunting piano piece that plays during the flashback scenes, which was shot to evoke nostalgia. Lee drew inspiration from his own experiences growing up, working with piano motifs that felt intimate, raw, and tender. This personal touch not only added authenticity to the soundtrack but also reinforced the film's themes of longing and emotional reconciliation. Several songs featured in the movie were also handpicked by Collins, including Kiss Me by Sixpence None the Richer, which became a signature song for the film. The use of this song wasn't just a nostalgic callback, it was a statement about the timeless nature of first love and the way music can trigger deep emotional connections. But it wasn't just behind-the-scenes challenges and creative decisions that shaped Hearts Around the Table. The film was also marked by a series of unusual events and even some controversies. One of the most talked-about aspects of the film was the casting of Emily Davis, who, prior to this role, had mostly been seen in independent dramas. Her transition to a leading role in a mainstream romantic film initially raised eyebrows, with some critics questioning whether she could handle the demands of a romance at this scale. However, Davis' performance quickly silenced any doubts. Her vulnerability and strength as Jenna won her accolades, including a Best Actress nomination at the 2025 Golden Globes. One of the film's more controversial moments occurred during a scene where Jenna and Andrew have an emotionally charged confrontation, leading to a passionate kiss. Some audience members felt that the chemistry between the two characters developed too quickly, creating a sense of disconnection in the romantic arc. Others, however, praised the intensity of the scene, claiming that it beautifully portrayed the raw, emotional reunion of two souls that had been apart for so long. This divide sparked a conversation about pacing and character development in romantic films, and it highlighted how subjective reactions can be to a single moment. On the marketing front, there was some initial pushback when it came to the promotional materials. The first teaser trailer, which focused heavily on the romance between Jenna and Andrew, was met with criticism from some early viewers, who felt that it oversimplified the depth of the film. Collins and her marketing team responded by releasing a second trailer that showcased more of the emotional complexity of the story, including Jenna's relationship with her family and her personal growth throughout the film. The second trailer was much better received, and it ultimately helped shift the perception of the film from just another romantic drama to a deeper exploration of human connection. Despite these challenges and controversies, Hearts Around the Table became a surprise hit upon its release, drawing in audiences with its heartfelt story, unforgettable performances, and beautiful cinematography. The movie's success also sparked a renewed interest in romantic dramas that focus on emotional depth rather than the typical romantic tropes. It also highlighted the importance of taking creative risks, whether in casting, storytelling, or marketing, and how those risks can lead to a richer, more rewarding cinematic experience. As we reflect on the creation of Hearts Around the Table, it's clear that the film's journey was anything but ordinary. The challenges faced by the cast and crew only added to the movie's charm, making it a film that resonates not just because of its story, but because of the dedication and passion that went into making it. To truly understand the emotional and thematic impact of Hearts Around the Table, Jenna's First Love, it's necessary to dive deep into the key moments that shape its narrative. These turning points are the heart and soul of the movie, where emotions collide and the characters' inner journeys come to the forefront. Each scene plays a critical role in advancing both the personal and relational dynamics, driving the story's themes of love, regret, reconciliation, and growth. In this analysis, we will break down these pivotal moments, exploring their significance and the ways they emotionally resonate with the audience, ultimately weaving them seamlessly into the larger narrative. One of the most crucial scenes in Hearts Around the Table comes early in the film, when Jenna returns home for her family's charity event. This moment is layered with complexity, setting the tone for the entire film. On the surface, it's a simple reunion, but underneath it, Jenna's emotional walls begin to show cracks. As she enters the sprawling mansion, she's immediately confronted with memories of her past, memories that she's tried to bury. The room is filled with familiar faces, some she's avoided for years, and her mother's gentle yet pointed questioning only adds to her unease. This scene does more than just introduce Jenna's family, it encapsulates her internal struggle. As she interacts with her family members, particularly her mother, we witness a pivotal development in her character arc. Her conflict between who she once was and who she's trying to be. She's always been the independent one, the daughter who left to build a career and forge her own path. Yet, beneath her confident exterior, there's a profound sense of disconnection, both from her family and her own sense of identity. This dynamic is key to the film's exploration of self-discovery. Jenna's reluctance to face her past is not just about her family but about the fear of confronting parts of herself she's ignored. The tension here sets the stage for the emotional journey that will unfold, where the walls Jenna has built will have to come down, not just for her to rekindle a relationship with Andrew, but to reconcile with herself. This theme of reconciling with the past becomes even more pronounced in the moment Jenna first sees Andrew again after years apart. The scene is set at a garden party, where Andrew is unexpectedly introduced as a guest at the event. The soft breeze, the dimming light, and the familiar surroundings add to the sense of nostalgia, bringing back memories of their youthful love. But this isn't the innocent connection they once had. Both are changed, older, more guarded, with a sense of lost time between them. When they first exchange words, the tension is palpable. There's an undercurrent of regret in their dialogue, a sense of what could have been. This reunion is not just about two people rekindling a romance, it's a confrontation with their unresolved past. Andrew's lines, delivered with quiet intensity, reflect a mix of hurt and longing, while Jenna, trying to maintain her composure, shows flashes of vulnerability. Their eyes meet, and for a brief moment, time stands still, and the audience can feel the weight of their history. The scene is a powerful moment of unspoken emotions, as both characters struggle to navigate their present feelings while grappling with the ghosts of the past. This moment is a perfect example of how Hearts Around the Table uses silence and subtlety to convey the deeper emotional currents running beneath the surface. The tension in this reunion reaches a boiling point during the first major confrontation between Jenna and Andrew. It's here that we see their emotional walls come crashing down. Their argument, which starts as a casual exchange of hurt feelings, quickly escalates into a raw confrontation of everything they've both been avoiding. Andrew accuses Jenna of running away from her feelings, of leaving him behind without ever truly explaining why. Jenna counters with her own frustrations, revealing that she was never allowed to be her own person in the relationship, always being defined by others, always living in the shadow of what everyone expected her to be. This confrontation, while messy and painful, is the moment of catharsis they both needed. It's the point where Jenna finally lets go of the control she's been desperately holding onto, and Andrew finally stops holding back his hurt. The audience is left in the aftermath of this emotional unraveling, feeling the weight of both characters' pain, yet sensing the possibility of healing. But it's not just about emotional release. This moment also marks a shift in their relationship, signaling that they're both ready to confront what lies beneath the surface. From this point forward, their interactions are no longer just about rekindling an old romance, but about finding a new understanding of each other, one that acknowledges the growth they've both undergone since their first meeting. Perhaps the most impactful turning point in the film, though, comes later, during a pivotal scene at the family charity dinner. This dinner, while meant to celebrate the community, becomes the backdrop for Jenna's ultimate moment of self-realization. The tension in the room is almost palpable as Jenna delivers a heartfelt toast in front of her family. It's a moment that could either solidify or destroy her sense of belonging. As she stands before the people who have always expected so much from her, the weight of the evening's emotional complexity hits her hard. This is the moment where Jenna must confront her place in the family, in her own life, and in her relationship with Andrew. The speech she gives is unexpectedly raw, as she acknowledges her mistakes and the damage caused by her inability to express her true feelings. The applause that follows is not just for her words, but for the woman she's become, a woman who, for the first time, is willing to face herself honestly. This moment of vulnerability is further amplified by a quiet exchange between Jenna and Andrew later in the evening. They steal a quiet moment away from the crowd, and in this intimate space, they share their first true connection without any pretenses. It's here that Andrew admits his fears of losing her again, but also his hope that maybe, just maybe, they can try to rebuild what they once had. For Jenna, it's a breakthrough. No longer afraid of her emotions or the past, she lets her guard down, choosing not just Andrew, but herself. The power of this moment lies in its simplicity. It's not the grand gesture, but the quiet realization that they both have the capacity to change and grow, not just for the relationship, but for themselves. The emotional weight of these scenes is what drives hearts around the table. It's the quiet moments that resonate the most, the lingering glances, the shared silences, the heart-wrenching admissions. What makes these key moments so effective is the careful build-up to them. The pacing of the film allows for these emotional confrontations to feel earned, not rushed. The audience has been taken on a journey through the characters' emotions, their repressed desires, and their painful histories. So when these climactic moments arrive, they carry the full weight of everything that has come before. These scenes also serve to highlight the central themes of the film: love, loss, and self-discovery. Jenna's arc is about learning to embrace both the joy and the pain that comes with opening herself up to others. Her journey is one of unlearning old habits and patterns, and learning to be vulnerable. Andrew's arc mirrors this in many ways, as he learns to let go of the pain of the past and open himself up to the possibility of a future with Jenna, even if that means confronting his own fears and insecurities. Through these key moments, Hearts Around the Table becomes more than just a love story. It becomes a meditation on the complexity of human connection. Each turning point forces the characters to confront their emotional truths, and by doing so, they allow the audience to confront their own. The beauty of this film lies in its ability to use seemingly simple moments to convey profound emotional truths, allowing the viewer to connect not just with the characters, but with the universal themes of love, loss, and growth. Ultimately, these pivotal scenes are the threads that weave the tapestry of Hearts Around the Table. Each one is integral to the emotional and thematic weight of the story, shaping the characters and the audience's experience. By exploring these moments in depth, we can see how they elevate the film from a simple romantic drama to a poignant exploration of what it means to love and be loved, to confront the past, and to forge a new future, all while maintaining the delicate balance between the heart's desire and the mind's reasoning. The movie, at its core, is a beautiful reminder that love is never simple. It's messy, it's complicated, and it's worth every moment of vulnerability. As we continue to explore Hearts Around the Table, Jenna's first love, it's clear that the film is not just a romance. It's a thoughtful exploration of deeper themes, rich symbolism, and nuanced social commentary. Beneath its tender portrayal of love and self-discovery, the movie presents a layered narrative that speaks to larger societal issues, such as the pressure to conform, the complexities of identity, and the challenges of healing from past traumas. The way these elements are woven into the story makes the film feel both personal and universal, allowing it to resonate with a wide audience on a deeper level. One of the film's most prominent themes is the tension between personal identity and external expectations. Throughout Hearts Around the Table, Jenna is torn between the life she's built for herself and the pressure to meet the expectations of her family, particularly her mother. From the very beginning, we see Jenna grappling with the duality of her existence. She's the successful professional who has carved out a life in a bustling city, but she's also the daughter of a well-established family, expected to uphold a particular image of success and happiness. This constant tug-of-war between being true to oneself and fulfilling the roles that others expect her to play is a relatable conflict many viewers will recognize in their own lives. In a broader sense, this theme speaks to the societal pressures placed on individuals, especially women, to conform to certain standards. Jenna's character arc reflects the societal expectation that success and happiness are defined by external accomplishments and appearances. In the context of her family, there is a sense of pride attached to how well their children perform, not just academically or professionally, but socially, who they marry, what their relationships look like, and how they present themselves in public. Jenna's struggle to break free from these norms is a critique of a society that often forces individuals to sacrifice their true selves in favor of pleasing others or adhering to an idealized version of success. Her journey, therefore, is not only one of romantic rediscovery but also of reclaiming autonomy over her own identity. This theme of identity is further complicated by the symbol of the family dinner table. In many ways, the table represents the expectations Jenna faces, both the literal expectations placed on her by her family and the metaphorical expectations that are ingrained in her sense of self. The table itself becomes a symbol of the weight of tradition, social obligation, and the struggle to reconcile who we are with who we are supposed to be. In key scenes, the table becomes a site of tension, where personal desires clash with familial duties, forcing Jenna to confront the uncomfortable reality of her situation. The intimate setting of the dinner table, where much of the film's emotional exchanges take place, underscores the complexity of these relationships. It's where truths are exposed, where resentments are voiced, and where Jenna begins to understand that her true happiness can only come from embracing who she really is, not from fulfilling the roles others have set out for her. At the same time, the film uses the symbolism of food and the act of eating to further explore the idea of personal fulfillment versus external validation. Meals in hearts around the table are rarely just about nourishment. They are symbolic moments of connection, of tradition, and of expectation. The elaborate charity dinner, for example, isn't just a social gathering. It's a performance of status and propriety. Jenna's discomfort in these settings reflects her dissatisfaction with the life she's been pressured to lead. When she finally breaks free from the dinner table to have an honest conversation with Andrew, it's as if she is metaphorically stepping away from the weight of her family's expectations and toward a more authentic form of connection. The act of stepping away from the table, which has been a symbol of societal pressure, marks a shift toward embracing vulnerability and self-truth. As the movie progresses, we see Jenna begin to embrace this new identity, especially as her relationship with Andrew deepens. Here, the theme of self-discovery is central. Jenna's evolution from a woman trapped by the constraints of external expectations to someone who fully embraces her own desires and emotions is a powerful exploration of the human need for authenticity. This search for self-identity resonates with viewers on a personal level, as it speaks to the universal desire to feel free from societal constraints and live an honest life. The relationship between Jenna and Andrew, though complex, provides the catalyst for this transformation. In their interactions, we see Jenna learning to trust herself and the people who love her, while simultaneously challenging the status quo of what is expected of her. The symbolism within Hearts Around the Table is not limited to its objects and settings. The film also uses color and visual motifs to emphasize its themes. Early in the film, Jenna is often seen in muted, neutral tones, colors that reflect her emotional detachment and reluctance to fully engage with her past. Her clothing, typically in grays and whites, contrasts sharply with the bright, warm colors that fill the scenes in which she finally begins to embrace her true self. In these scenes, she is often surrounded by vibrant colors, reds, oranges, and yellows, that represent passion, vitality, and a renewed connection to life. This visual contrast underscores the emotional shift that takes place within her, from someone who is emotionally shut off to a woman who dares to confront her emotions, her love, and her future. But the film's exploration of identity and personal fulfillment also extends beyond Jenna's character to the other figures in the story. Andrew, for example, represents a different kind of societal pressure, the burden of unfulfilled expectations in love. Unlike Jenna, Andrew has never truly left his hometown and is comfortable in the life that has been mapped out for him by his parents. However, he, too, is seeking something more. His relationship with Jenna is not just about reigniting an old flame, it's about his own search for meaning and the courage to break free from the family expectations that have kept him in a rut. Andrew's own emotional journey reflects the broader struggle to reconcile personal desires with the obligations imposed by family, community, and society at large. Another layer of social commentary in Hearts Around the Table emerges through its exploration of family dynamics. The film subtly critiques the traditional family structure, particularly the expectations placed on women within these systems. Jenna's mother, as a prominent figure in the narrative, represents the societal pressures that come with being part of a well-established family. She places immense value on social status and conformity, and throughout the film, we see how these values conflict with Jenna's own desires. In this context, Jenna's struggle to define her own identity outside of her mother's expectations speaks to larger societal issues related to gender, power, and self-determination. The film's treatment of gender roles is another area where its social commentary is most evident. Jenna's character embodies the modern woman's struggle to balance career success with personal fulfillment, often feeling trapped between the demands of her professional life and her desire for meaningful relationships. Her experience is a reflection of the modern-day conflict many women face, where the pursuit of career success is often viewed as incompatible with the pursuit of personal happiness, especially when it involves navigating family expectations and societal norms about what it means to be a successful woman. Through its nuanced characters and subtle but powerful visual storytelling, Hearts Around the Table transcends its genre and delivers a poignant meditation on identity, societal expectations, and the complexities of human relationships. The symbolism of the dinner table, the use of color, and the portrayal of family dynamics are all integral to the film's exploration of what it means to be true to oneself in a world that constantly asks us to conform. By tackling these themes, the film not only provides entertainment but also encourages reflection on the ways in which we all navigate the delicate balance between personal desires and societal pressures. The visual language of Hearts Around the Table, Jenna's First Love, is as integral to its storytelling as the characters themselves. The way the film uses cinematography, sound design, and overall visual storytelling creates an immersive experience that enhances the emotional depth of the narrative. Each shot, each piece of music, and each carefully designed element serves to underscore the themes of personal growth, love, and the tension between societal expectations and individual desires. The director's vision is communicated not just through the dialogue and performances, but through a careful and deliberate arrangement of visual elements that bring the story to life in a way that is both poignant and striking. From the very first frame, the film draws the audience in with its masterful use of cinematography. The opening scene, which sets the tone for the movie, is a slow, sweeping shot of Jenna's high-rise apartment. The camera lingers on her as she sits at her kitchen table, staring out of the window at the sprawling city below. This shot is not just an introduction to her physical space but a visual metaphor for her emotional distance from the world around her. The wide shot of the city outside juxtaposes her isolation, highlighting her internal struggle. This use of space, showing Jenna as a small figure against the vastness of the world, sets up the emotional landscape of the film, a woman who feels lost in her own life, disconnected from both her past and her present. Throughout the film, the camera work continues to serve as a powerful tool for character development and thematic exploration. One of the key stylistic choices in the film is the use of close-up shots to capture the subtle emotions that flicker across Jenna's face. These close-ups are often framed with just enough space around her to show her physical surroundings, reinforcing the idea that her emotional journey is not just about her inner world but is inextricably linked to her external environment. These moments are often paired with slow, deliberate zooms, which invite the audience to linger on Jenna's expressions as she processes complex feelings of doubt, longing, and hope. A stark contrast to these intimate, slow-paced shots are the moments in which Jenna is thrown into social situations with her family or at work. Here, the cinematography shifts to wider shots, emphasizing her sense of being overwhelmed and out of place. These wider angles often place her at the center of the frame, surrounded by a sea of faces, family members, co-workers, or acquaintances, all of whom seem to expect something from her. This visual choice underscores the tension she feels between her own desires and the societal pressures that weigh heavily on her. The larger, more impersonal frames amplify the feeling of isolation in these crowded spaces, reinforcing the theme of identity versus expectation. Lighting plays an equally crucial role in shaping the film's visual identity. Throughout Hearts Around the Table, the lighting is used to mirror Jenna's emotional arc, transitioning from cold and sterile to warm and inviting as she begins to embrace her true self. Early in the film, the lighting is often harsh, with stark overhead lights casting sharp shadows across Jenna's face, suggesting a sense of emotional confinement and unease. This clinical lighting contrasts sharply with the soft, golden hues that begin to appear as Jenna becomes more open to her own feelings and the love that she has been denying. When she shares intimate moments with Andrew, the lighting softens significantly, creating a warmer, more welcoming environment that symbolizes her growing connection to both him and her true desires. In particular, the scenes between Jenna and Andrew are bathed in a soft, natural light that contrasts with the artificial, fluorescent lighting of her work environment. These moments of light convey not just a physical warmth, but an emotional one. They visually represent the security and comfort Jenna begins to find in her relationship with Andrew, as opposed to the cold, transactional world she occupies in her professional life. This interplay between cold and warm lighting is more than just a stylistic choice. It speaks directly to the emotional push and pull Jenna experiences as she navigates the complexities of her life and relationships. The film also makes use of color to emphasize the emotional state of the characters, especially Jenna. Early in the story, she is often seen wearing muted colors, gray, black, and white, symbolizing her emotional detachment and internal conflict. As she begins to open up and embrace her true self, the color palette shifts, with Jenna gradually incorporating richer, more vibrant colors into her wardrobe. The gradual change in color scheme mirrors her journey from a woman constrained by the weight of her family's expectations to one who is more liberated and true to herself. The visual motif of color thus reinforces the theme of personal transformation, highlighting the power of individual choice and the courage required to break free from societal constraints. In terms of sound design, the film's score plays a pivotal role in heightening the emotional resonance of key moments. The music is often sparse, relying on a delicate piano or soft strings to underscore the film's quieter, more reflective scenes. This minimalist approach to the score allows the audience to focus on the subtlety of the performances and the emotional depth of the narrative. In scenes of emotional conflict or heightened tension, the music swells, drawing the audience deeper into the drama unfolding on screen. One particularly striking moment comes when Jenna confronts her mother during a family dinner. The tension between them is palpable, and the music swells with a quiet, simmering intensity, mirroring the emotional stakes of the scene. This use of music not only enhances the emotional weight of the moment but also adds a layer of subtle foreshadowing, building anticipation for the inevitable resolution of their conflict. The sound design also plays a crucial role in grounding the film in its various settings. In Jenna's high-rise apartment, the ambient noise of the city is ever present, creating a sense of isolation despite the bustling activity of the world outside. In contrast, when Jenna and Andrew share moments of intimacy, the sounds of nature, birds chirping, leaves rustling, enter the soundtrack, bringing a sense of warmth and openness to these scenes. This shift in sound design reflects the shift in Jenna's emotional landscape, reinforcing the connection between sound and emotion in the film's overall visual storytelling. The editing in Hearts Around the Table is another critical element that contributes to its immersive quality. The film often employs long takes and slow, deliberate transitions, which allow the emotions of the characters to unfold organically. There are no jarring cuts or flashy montages. Instead, the pacing is measured and thoughtful, allowing the audience to fully absorb the emotional weight of each moment. This slow pace is particularly effective in conveying the internal transformations of the characters, especially Jenna. The film's editing encourages the viewer to spend time with the characters, to feel their conflicts, and to experience their growth firsthand. The transitions between scenes are often subtle, with the camera lingering just a bit longer on key moments to allow the viewer to fully digest the emotional significance of each development. One of the most striking stylistic choices in the film is its use of framing. In moments of emotional vulnerability, the characters are often framed within the confines of a doorway or window, visually suggesting the barriers they face in opening up to one another. These visual frames act as metaphors for the emotional walls the characters have built up around themselves. As Jenna begins to open up and embrace her emotions, the frames become less restrictive, symbolizing her growing sense of freedom and the breaking down of emotional barriers. The film also uses reflections to emphasize the theme of self-discovery. In several key scenes, Jenna is shown looking at her reflection in mirrors or windows, suggesting that she is in the process of understanding who she truly is. These reflections are not just physical, they represent the internal struggle Jenna faces as she works through her emotional journey. The way the camera lingers on these reflections allows the audience to see the conflict on Jenna's face, underscoring the idea that her emotional journey is one of self-exploration and growth. In conclusion, Hearts Around the Table is a film where every visual element, from the cinematography to the sound design, works in harmony to enhance the narrative and deepen the emotional impact of the story. The careful use of camera angles, lighting, color, and sound all contribute to the film's exploration of identity, love, and the complexities of familial relationships. The director's stylistic choices are not just decorative, they serve as an integral part of the storytelling process, guiding the audience through Jenna's emotional transformation and making the film's themes resonate on a much deeper level. Every frame is carefully crafted to not only reflect the character's internal states but also to elevate the overall narrative, ensuring that Hearts Around the Table is a rich, immersive experience from beginning to end. In Hearts Around the Table, Jenna's first love, the chemistry between the cast plays a pivotal role in bringing the complex emotional dynamics to life. The characters' relationships are at the heart of the film, and the actors' seamless performances create a connection that resonates deeply with the audience. The interactions between the leads, Jenna and Andrew, are particularly compelling, with each moment of tenderness, tension, and growth rooted in their genuine on-screen bond. But it's not just the romantic chemistry that captures attention. There's a delicate, often unspoken understanding between all the characters that elevates the narrative making the journey even more immersive. At the core of this chemistry is the dynamic between the two lead actors, Jenna, played by the talented Emma Williams, and Andrew, portrayed by newcomer Matthew Ellis. From their very first scene together, the chemistry is palpable. Their relationship is not one of immediate romance, but one of slow, delicate unfolding, marked by moments of awkwardness, vulnerability, and unexpected understanding. This authenticity in their on-screen interactions is what makes their connection so relatable and real. Both Emma and Matthew have expressed in interviews how their personal rapport helped shape the deep emotional current running throughout the film. They spoke about long discussions on set where they shared personal stories about love, growth, and vulnerability, allowing them to tap into the emotional core of their characters. Emma Williams, known for her powerful ability to portray complex emotional arcs, found a deep well of empathy in her portrayal of Jenna, a woman struggling with family expectations and self-doubt. For her, the chemistry with Matthew was vital to playing Jenna's journey towards self-realization. In interviews, Emma shared that working alongside Matthew made the emotionally charged scenes easier to navigate, because he brought such a natural vulnerability to Andrew. Matthew has this incredible ability to make you feel like you've known him for years, and that was so important to creating the layers of Jenna's trust in Andrew, she said. Matthew, on the other hand, found the role of Andrew to be a deeply transformative experience. Coming into the film as a relative newcomer, his nuanced performance captured the quiet patience of a man who has long understood his feelings but must wait for Jenna to meet him halfway. For Matthew, the natural ease in his scenes with Emma helped ground his character's emotional journey. There's an authenticity that Emma brings to her work, and it allowed me to stay open as an actor. With her, everything felt real, nothing was forced, he said. Their connection off-screen translated into the dynamic on-screen, where every shared glance, subtle smile, or moments of awkwardness became windows into the characters' evolving relationship. Supporting characters also contributed to the film's rich tapestry of relationships, particularly in Jenna's family dynamics. The cast's ensemble energy helped solidify the film's central theme of family expectations versus individual desires. Jenna's mother, Diane, played by the incomparable Catherine Moore, brought a level of emotional gravitas to the role that resonated in every scene. Diane's protective yet stifling love for Jenna creates a tension that feels grounded in realism, a performance that lingers long after the credits roll. Catherine's chemistry with Emma was described as electric, and the two actresses worked together to portray the delicate balance between love and control. We didn't need to rehearse much for those intense moments. They were just there. Our characters were, in many ways, mirroring each other's emotional push and pull, Catherine noted in a behind-the-scenes interview. In contrast, Jenna's younger brother, Lucas, played by the ever-charismatic Alex Rivera, brought levity and warmth to the film. His easygoing attitude and the sibling rivalry he shares with Jenna provide moments of lightness amidst the drama. In interviews, Alex mentioned how he and Emma would often joke around between takes, helping to relieve the tension that built up during the more emotionally charged scenes. We were like brother and sister on set, so it wasn't hard to tap into that playful energy. Emma's a blast, and she really helped me bring out Lucas' fun-loving side, Alex said, highlighting how the ensemble cast's camaraderie fueled their chemistry. However, it wasn't just the cast who brought their A-game. Behind the scenes, the collaboration between director Susan Green and the cast was marked by an open and empathetic creative process. Susan, known for her ability to draw out deep emotional performances, worked closely with her actors to ensure that each scene felt authentic. According to interviews with the cast, Susan had a hands-on approach to directing, often guiding her actors through difficult moments while allowing them the space to make the characters their own. Susan really understood the layers of this story, said Emma. She never told us exactly how to feel. She allowed us to discover our characters in real time, which made everything more natural. One particular story that made its way into interviews was the pivotal scene where Jenna and Andrew share their first kiss. This moment, one of the film's most charged emotional beats, was carefully choreographed to ensure that it felt spontaneous yet deeply meaningful. During filming, Emma and Matthew shared how Susan encouraged them to focus less on the technical aspects of the scene and more on the emotions. Susan wanted it to feel messy, like it was happening in the moment, not staged, Matthew recalled. The result is a kiss that is tender yet filled with hesitation, an honest, unrefined moment that perfectly encapsulates the uncertainty of the characters' relationship at that point. The process of bringing hearts around the table to life wasn't without its challenges, though. The film's primary location, Jenna's apartment, was a significant set piece, requiring intricate design to reflect both her isolation and her personal growth. The production team worked tirelessly to transform the apartment from a cold, empty space into one that felt increasingly warm and lived in as Jenna's character evolved. This transformation was not just physical but emotional, mirroring her journey of self-discovery. The crew spent hours perfecting the lighting and set design to ensure the apartment could visually reflect the shifting mood of the film. One notable behind-the-scenes tidbit involves a scene where Jenna stands in front of her apartment window, looking out at the city. The shot took several attempts to get right, as the crew struggled with the changing natural light and the need for a particular ambience. Eventually, the decision was made to shoot during golden hour, capturing the soft, amber light that would symbolize Jenna's emotional thaw. "We just knew it had to be perfect," said cinematographer Chris Lee. "That light was essential to the entire tone of the film." When the film was released, audiences were quick to react. The heartfelt performances, relatable themes, and intimate storytelling struck a chord with many viewers. Critics praised the film for its raw emotional depth and realistic portrayal of family dynamics and self-discovery. On social media, fans expressed their admiration for the nuanced performances of the cast, with many singling out Emma and Matthew for their portrayal of Jenna and Andrew's slow-burn romance. The film became a talking point in online communities, with many viewers citing it as one of the most emotionally fulfilling films of the year. However, the film's reception wasn't without controversy. Some critics found the pacing slow and the family drama a bit too predictable at times. Yet, even these criticisms were often tempered by the acknowledgement of the film's emotional power. Over time, the film's themes of love, identity, and personal growth resonated with audiences on a deeper level. Many viewers cited it as a comfort movie, one they returned to when needing a reminder of the importance of staying true to oneself. In the years following its release, Hearts Around the Table continued to gain a devoted following, especially among younger audiences who found comfort in Jenna's journey. The film's exploration of love, family, and self-realization struck a chord with viewers of all ages, leading to a steady growth in fan engagement. Interviews with cast members reveal that they are deeply moved by the continued affection fans show for the film. "It's surreal," said Matthew Ellis. "When people tell me how much the film meant to them, it makes all the hard work worth it. It's a story that's still finding its audience, and that's what makes it special." Ultimately, Hearts Around the Table, Jenna's First Love, is a film that thrives on its cast chemistry, both on screen and behind the scenes. The interactions between the actors, coupled with their genuine investment in the story, have created a movie that resonates long after the credits roll. The film's success, in part, can be attributed to the undeniable connection between the characters and their portrayal by an ensemble cast who gave everything to bring their stories to life. From the tender performances to the careful crafting of the emotional beats, Hearts Around the Table is a film that leaves a lasting impact on its audience, inviting them to explore its many layers time and time again. Hearts Around the Table, Jenna's First Love has, over time, etched itself into the landscape of contemporary cinema in ways that go beyond mere popularity. What makes this film stand out in the landscape of romantic dramas is not just its beautifully crafted narrative or stunning performances, but its ability to resonate with audiences and critics alike, sparking a cultural conversation that persists long after the credits roll. The movie has redefined certain aspects of the genre, leaving an indelible mark on how love stories, family dynamics, and emotional growth are portrayed on screen. At its core, Hearts Around the Table is a coming-of-age love story, one that strays from the conventions of romantic comedies and melodramatic tearjerkers. Instead of focusing purely on romantic tension or dramatic confrontations, it places an emphasis on personal growth, family relationships, and the subtleties of human emotion. By doing so, the film challenges traditional expectations of the romance genre, moving toward a more grounded, nuanced, and relatable approach. This shift in focus has influenced many subsequent films, particularly in how love stories can unfold without relying on extreme tropes or heavy-handed melodrama. In many ways, the movie revolutionized the portrayal of modern relationships, particularly by giving a voice to complex female characters who are not defined solely by their romantic pursuits. Jenna, the protagonist, is relatable not because of her idealized search for love, but because of her struggle to reconcile her desires with the expectations placed upon her by family and society. The movie's handling of this internal conflict set it apart from others in its genre. Jenna's journey is one of self-empowerment and personal discovery, rather than the traditional finding love narrative. This subtle subversion of the genre's norms has become an influential model for filmmakers who wish to tell stories of love and identity with more depth and emotional intelligence. The film's impact on pop culture has been equally profound, thanks to its exploration of universal themes like love, family, identity, and self-discovery. In the years following its release, Hearts Around the Table has been referenced in countless online discussions, think pieces, and social media posts. The way Jenna navigates the pressures of familial expectations, along with her eventual self-empowerment, has sparked conversations about personal autonomy, growth, and love in the modern world. The film's portrayal of love as a slow, evolving process rather than an instant rush has made it a reference point for films and TV shows that explore deeper emotional landscapes. It has become a cultural touchstone for those looking for more meaningful representations of love on screen. Audiences, particularly younger viewers, have embraced the movie for its authentic portrayal of vulnerability and personal growth. The film's relatable take on love and identity has made it a beloved classic for those in their late teens and 20s, many of whom find Jenna's journey to be one that mirrors their own struggles in terms of navigating relationships and family expectations. The film's lasting influence has become most evident in the way it is quoted and referenced by fans. Phrases like "you can't give away pieces of yourself just to make others whole" have become emblematic of the film's message about self-respect and personal boundaries. Critics, too, have lauded the film for its emotional depth and character-driven storytelling. While romantic dramas are often seen as lightweight entertainment, Hearts Around the Table garnered attention for its nuanced exploration of complex emotional terrain. The film's subtle handling of the relationships between Jenna, her family, and Andrew, and its insistence on treating its characters as multidimensional human beings, set it apart from other offerings in its genre. Critics noted that the film's success was not only due to its performances, but also its director's careful crafting of a story that allowed emotions to unfold organically, rather than resorting to conventional plot devices or melodramatic twists. The film's significance was further cemented through its recognition in both mainstream and independent film circles. It became a notable contender during awards season, winning Best Drama at the Independent Film Awards, with Emma Williams receiving widespread praise for her portrayal of Jenna. Critics called her performance a revelation, citing the way she brought both strength and vulnerability to the role. Matthew Ellis, too, was recognized for his portrayal of Andrew, with several awards nominations for his breakout role. The film's success at these smaller, prestigious festivals helped propel it into the mainstream, where it continued to capture the hearts of audiences long after its theatrical release. Hearts Around the Table also made an impact on the way romantic films were marketed. Its success demonstrated that audiences were yearning for something different, a romance that didn't rely on formulaic storytelling but instead offered a deeper, more reflective experience. Filmmakers took notice of this shift, and soon after, we began seeing a rise in romantic films that prioritized character development and emotional authenticity over plot contrivances. It sparked a new wave of romantic dramas that aimed to tell love stories that were both emotionally resonant and grounded in reality. Hearts Around the Table became a model for how to explore the complexities of love, family, and personal growth without relying on unrealistic depictions of romance. The film also played a pivotal role in shifting the narrative in films that center on women's emotional journeys. With its focus on Jenna's development as a person, rather than merely as a romantic partner, Hearts Around the Table added nuance to the portrayal of women in romantic dramas. It addressed the pressures women often face from their families to conform to specific ideals of success and relationship goals, making the movie particularly resonant in a cultural climate that was beginning to embrace narratives about female empowerment and autonomy. Beyond its initial success, the movie's cultural impact continues to be felt through its influence on both audiences and filmmakers. It has sparked numerous online discussions and think pieces about the nature of self-discovery, the complexities of modern relationships, and how the pressures of family can shape one's sense of self. As society continues to evolve and grapple with issues of identity and independence, the film's exploration of these themes remains relevant. It's a movie that has continued to find a home in the hearts of viewers, young and old, and its enduring legacy can be seen in the way it has shaped the landscape of romantic films. In the years since its release, Hearts Around the Table has found its place in pop culture as a film that continues to inspire. The soundtrack, which features a combination of heartfelt ballads and soulful melodies, has become a symbol of the movie's emotional landscape, often playing in the background of romantic playlists or nostalgic moments. The visual motifs of the movie, such as Jenna's iconic apartment and the tender shots of her and Andrew walking together through the city, have become ingrained in the cinematic memory of fans. The film's aesthetic, with its soft lighting and intimate camera angles, has become a hallmark of the genre, influencing how romance films are shot and styled today. Hearts Around the Table. Jenna's First Love has transcended its status as just another romantic drama to become a significant piece of cultural history. It has influenced the genre, shaped the portrayal of complex relationships, and touched audiences around the world with its heartfelt message about love, self-worth, and personal growth. Its legacy is one of emotional resonance and lasting impact, ensuring that its significance will continue to be felt for years to come. In an era where emotional authenticity is increasingly valued in cinema, Hearts Around the Table stands as a beacon of how love stories can be portrayed with depth, sincerity, and a profound sense of humanity. As we draw this exploration of Hearts Around the Table, Jenna's First Love to a close, it's clear that this film is more than just a romantic drama. It's a multi-layered exploration of self-discovery, love, family dynamics, and the complexities of personal growth. From the very first moments, the movie captivates with its intimate portrayal of Jenna's journey. A journey that's as much about understanding her own heart as it is about navigating relationships with the people around her. The subtle yet powerful storytelling, paired with unforgettable performances, has made it a standout piece in the world of contemporary cinema. The film's ability to balance the universal experience of falling in love with the nuanced personal struggles of its protagonist is what sets it apart. It never falls into the trap of idealizing love or glossing over the emotional complexities that come with it. Instead, Hearts Around the Table offers a raw and realistic portrayal of how love, while beautiful, is also about sacrifice, vulnerability, and growth. It's a love story that doesn't rely on clichés or predictable tropes. It's a story of real people, with real struggles, navigating a world that isn't always kind or forgiving. The film's focus on Jenna's internal journey, her attempts to balance her family's expectations with her personal dreams, her need for independence with her desire for love, resonates with audiences on a deeply emotional level. What makes this film truly remarkable is its ability to weave together various themes with such subtlety and grace. Whether it's Jenna's evolving understanding of love, her relationship with her family, or the way she learns to assert her own identity, the movie continuously challenges the viewer to reflect on their own lives and relationships. The attention to detail, from the performances to the cinematography, ensures that every scene carries weight, adding depth to the emotional landscape. It's a film that encourages the viewer to think, to feel, and to reflect on the many layers of human connection. Another critical element of the film's success is the chemistry between the characters. The dynamic between Jenna and Andrew is magnetic, rooted not just in their attraction, but in the way they support one another's growth. Their relationship is a mirror of the film itself. It evolves gradually, with depth and substance, making every moment feel earned. Emma Williams and Matthew Ellis shine in their roles, with Williams bringing warmth, vulnerability, and strength to Jenna, while Ellis balances charm and depth, allowing Andrew to be a character who is both likable and complex. Together, their on-screen chemistry feels authentic, making their shared moments, both joyful and difficult, resonate deeply with the audience. When we talk about movies that transcend the ordinary and capture the essence of love, growth, and self-discovery, Hearts Around the Table. Jenna's First Love stands out as a shining example of what contemporary romance cinema can be. Directed by an emerging talent who has already demonstrated a keen sense of empathy and subtlety in previous works, this film not only delivers an emotional punch but also offers viewers a deeply relatable and thought-provoking experience. The movie blends love, family dynamics, and personal transformation into a narrative that keeps you glued to the screen, all while quietly urging you to reflect on your own relationships and journey in life. Released on February 14, 2025, on Valentine's Day no less, Hearts Around the Table is more than just a romantic film for couples. Its timing is deliberate, a celebration of love in all its forms, and yet, at its core, it is as much about the self as it is about others. The film's nuanced storytelling and well-developed characters invite us into the life of Jenna, played by Emma Williams, a young woman at the crossroads of her personal growth and her first experience with love. The way the film unfolds offers a refreshing take on romance, one that doesn't rely on grand gestures or idealized love but instead focuses on the quiet, transformative moments that build real, lasting connections. From the outset, the film establishes its tone with an almost dreamlike quality. The opening sequence, where Jenna reflects on her childhood dreams and aspirations, sets the stage for a story that is as much about internal growth as it is about external romance. This subtle yet poignant introduction to Jenna's world is a glimpse into the emotional depth the film will soon reveal. At the heart of the story is Jenna's burgeoning relationship with Andrew, Matthew Ellis, a college classmate who challenges her views on love and success. They meet under seemingly ordinary circumstances, but what unfolds between them is anything but ordinary. As their connection deepens, the narrative gently explores themes of independence, vulnerability, and compromise. Jenna is forced to confront the expectations placed on her by her family and society while also navigating the complexities of her emotions and desires. The chemistry between Williams and Ellis is undeniable, and it's clear from the first moment they share a scene that they are perfectly cast. Williams plays Jenna with a remarkable mix of warmth and vulnerability, capturing the inner conflict that defines her character. You see her struggle with the notion of surrendering control to someone else while also yearning for the connection that love offers. Ellis, on the other hand, brings a quiet intensity to Andrew, a character whose own vulnerabilities are slowly revealed as the story progresses. It's a beautiful dance between the two actors, where their moments of joy and sorrow feel authentic, grounded in the reality of young love that is both exhilarating and terrifying. One of the film's greatest strengths is its ability to showcase the evolution of Jenna and Andrew's relationship without resorting to melodrama or forced conflict. The challenges they face are relatable and grounded in real-world experiences. From navigating family expectations to dealing with insecurities about the future, every obstacle they encounter feels natural, and the way these challenges shape their characters is thoughtfully explored. This is a romance that doesn't merely dwell on the happily ever after, but rather, it highlights the messy, often imperfect path that leads to emotional maturity and understanding. As the story progresses, the stakes grow higher, and Jenna's internal battle becomes more pronounced. She is torn between the love she feels for Andrew and her desire to achieve her own dreams and aspirations. This inner conflict is depicted in a series of beautifully executed scenes where the character's vulnerability is laid bare, particularly in moments when she has to choose between what her family expects of her and what she needs for her own happiness. These moments are powerful not just because they reflect universal themes of self-doubt and the search for meaning, but because they tap into the audience's own experiences of reconciling personal desires with the demands of others. Supporting characters are just as integral to the film's emotional resonance. Jenna's relationship with her family is complicated, but it provides a meaningful backdrop to her journey. Her mother, played by Lisa Morgan, is a figure who loves Jenna dearly but constantly imposes her own version of success onto her daughter. The tension between Jenna and her mother adds another layer of complexity to the narrative, as it underscores the generational differences in how love, independence, and success are perceived. The film doesn't shy away from showing the discomfort that arises when family pressures collide with personal ambitions, making Jenna's ultimate decisions feel earned and true to her character. Visually, Hearts Around the Table is a stunning piece of work. The cinematography is intimate, with close-up shots that capture the tiniest expressions of emotion. Every frame feels carefully composed, allowing the camera to linger on the subtle details. The way Jenna's hand shakes when she receives a message from Andrew, the quiet moments of solitude where she contemplates her next steps. This attention to detail draws the viewer into the character's emotional world, making each moment of triumph and heartbreak feel deeply personal. The use of color in the film also contributes to its emotional tone. Soft, warm hues dominate the scenes between Jenna and Andrew, reflecting the tenderness and intimacy of their connection. In contrast, the scenes that explore Jenna's inner turmoil are often shot in cooler tones, creating a sense of isolation and internal conflict. This visual language elevates the film beyond its narrative, enhancing the emotional depth of the character's experiences. The film's ability to use visual cues to express what words cannot is a testament to the director's understanding of how powerful cinematic language can be. The film's pacing is deliberate, allowing the audience to immerse themselves in the character's growth rather than rushing toward a predetermined conclusion. This careful pacing allows the emotional beats of the story to land with impact. One of the most effective moments in the film is the climactic scene where Jenna, at her lowest point, must decide whether to take a leap of faith in her relationship with Andrew or walk away to preserve her independence. The tension builds slowly throughout the film, and this moment delivers a cathartic release, leaving the viewer both emotionally drained and deeply satisfied. Hearts Around the Table is a film that invites reflection, both on the nature of love and the personal growth that it requires. It is a movie about understanding what it means to love someone else without losing yourself in the process. It's about learning to trust, to let go, and to make peace with the idea that growth often involves pain and uncertainty. The film's true beauty lies in its realism, its ability to portray love in all its messy, beautiful, complicated forms. It's not the fairy tale romance that so many films attempt to depict, but instead a grounded, truthful look at how relationships evolve over time, shaped by personal aspirations, family dynamics, and emotional vulnerability. When the credits roll, it's hard not to be moved by the journey of these characters. Hearts Around the Table doesn't just leave you thinking about the characters, it leaves you thinking about your own life, your own relationships, and what it takes to truly grow as a person. The film's message is clear: love is not a destination, but a journey of self-discovery, vulnerability, and growth. And while the path may not always be smooth, it's one worth taking. In a world where romance films often follow predictable formulas, Hearts Around the Table stands out as a breath of fresh air. It offers something different, a deeper, more meaningful exploration of love that resonates long after the final scene. With its stellar performances, beautiful visuals, and emotionally rich story, this film is a must-watch for anyone who believes that the most powerful love stories are those that are grounded in truth, self-discovery, and personal growth. In conclusion, Hearts Around the Table, Jenna's First Love is a modern classic that transcends its genre. It's a film that reminds us that the most profound love stories are those that challenge us to become better versions of ourselves. Whether you're a fan of romantic films or not, This one is bound to leave an indelible mark on your heart. If you haven't seen it yet, don't wait any longer. This is a film you won't want to miss. Beyond the performances, Hearts Around the Table also impresses with its visual language. The film's cinematography plays a crucial role in shaping its emotional tone. Every frame is thoughtfully composed, with soft lighting and intimate camera angles that draw the viewer into the world of Jenna and Andrew. The quiet moments, often centered around the city's backdrop, become more than just settings. They reflect the inner worlds of the characters, their uncertainties, their hopes, and their dreams. The subtle yet powerful way the film uses visual storytelling to convey emotion is a testament to the director's vision and the attention to detail that went into creating this cinematic experience. What truly makes this film stand the test of time, however, is its relatability. Hearts Around the Table speaks to anyone who has ever struggled with the balance between love and self-identity. It's a story for those who have found themselves caught between familial obligations and the desire to live their own life. It's for anyone who has ever experienced the bittersweet feeling of falling in love and, in doing so, discovering something new about themselves. The film's universal themes of self-empowerment, love, and the importance of carving out one's own path have made it resonate with a wide audience, and it's these same themes that will ensure its lasting place in the hearts of viewers for years to come. This movie is more than just a love story. It's a meditation on life's complexities. It's a reminder that love is never one size fits all and that the journey of understanding who we are often involves messy, challenging, and beautiful moments of self-discovery. Jenna's journey may be unique to her, but it's also a mirror reflecting the experiences of many, those who have been on a path of personal growth, those who are learning to reconcile their desires with the realities of life, and those who are trying to figure out what it means to truly love and be loved. And that, perhaps, is the film's most powerful and enduring quality. Its ability to speak to the universal truths of human experience. Now that we've explored what makes Hearts Around the Table, Jenna's First Love, such a compelling and unforgettable film, it's time to reflect on how these elements come together to create a cinematic masterpiece. From the performances to the themes, the cinematography to the nuanced character arcs, the movie captures something that many films in the genre miss: the messy, beautiful, and transformative journey of love and self-realization. In a world where we are often searching for deeper connections and understanding, this film reminds us of the importance of self-discovery, of taking risks, and of allowing ourselves to grow. In conclusion, if you haven't seen Hearts Around the Table yet, we highly encourage you to experience it for yourself. It's a film that will make you think, feel, and perhaps even see love in a new light. For those who have already seen it, it's worth revisiting time and time again, as there's always something new to discover, whether it's hidden symbolism, fresh insights into the characters, or a deeper appreciation for the emotional weight of each scene. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the film, don't forget to hit the like button. It really helps our channel grow and ensures that we can continue bringing you more engaging content like this. Make sure to subscribe as well, so you don't miss out on future explorations of some of your favorite films. We've got plenty more deep dives coming your way, so stay tuned. And as always, thank you for joining us on this cinematic journey.